Mortgage Weekly. We're so excited to have you guys watching this episode. My name is Sam Thompson. I'm joined this morning with Joe Bladek. How are you doing this morning, Joe?
Hey, Sam, not too bad. It's good to be here. It's great to be here on Canadian Mortgage Weekly. We got episode 44 happening today. I
Mhm.
am super excited. Yes, it's great to be here. And yes, it's great to always be here on this episode with you. Um, you know, uh, I find that with fall right now, it's getting back inside, doing more of these types
Mhm.
of things, right? Doing more videos and but also being outside and enjoying the weather. I don't know. It's a good time of year. How are you doing, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great time of year. Seeing all the leaves change before it gets too cold that you don't really want to go outside. So we're in that nice sweet spot where, it's not as humid as it was this summer. So yeah, I'm definitely a big fall guy. So
Yeah, I know you do a lot of trails, right? So I don't know if you've
mhm,
been doing a lot of those this fall, but that's always a good thing to do this time of year with the leaves changing and
mhm.
I know my kids, they like to grab the leaves and put them in the book and then flatten the leaves. I don't know
Oh,
if you ever done
nice.
that as a kid.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Fall is a really exciting time, and I know that there was a lot of uh speculation or news of what was going to be happening in the fall, with housing and with mortgages. And we have a lot of really good news to cover in today's episode.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. One of those items that we're going to cover off today is actually the next Bank of Canada meeting. And with that, as you know, Sam, we get really excited here on Canadian Mortgage Weekly when we have a Bank of Canada meeting coming up. And we really want to get that word out and get that information out to all of you. And that's happening on October the 27th. So, one thing that all of you should be of note is that there has been an increase in the chance that the variable rate or the Bank of Canada rate will increase this time around.
That's right. So it's definitely a good one to stay tuned with and check out. We do live coverage on the day with the results of any change that the Bank of Canada decides to make, especially if you have a variable rate mortgage or a variable rate loan of any kind. We like to provide a source or a platform for you to know exactly what's happening with your variable rate. But yeah, you're saying that they looks like we could see a bit of an increase this time. I know that a lot of variable rate holders were sitting pretty comfortable for the last
Mm-hmm.
few rate announcements. They've kept steady for a number of them, these past updates. So we could see a change.
We definitely could, yes. So if any of you who have a variable rate mortgage or have a variable line of credit and you want to lock it in or just discuss your options, give us a call about that. But definitely keep in touch or keep tuned in to Canadian Mortgage Weekly. We'll be streaming live on the Bank of Canada decision date, which is October the 27th. And there's many reasons why this is happening too, and it's happening a lot sooner, Sam, than where we thought it was going to happen. I know that in our previous episodes, a lot of economists were saying that we were looking at a rate increase in mid 2022,
Yeah.
right? So one of these things is actually leading into our next news topic, and that's that we've seen some really promising news articles come out about the employment numbers recently. I know
Mhm.
that's not really too exciting for the general population, but it's really exciting for me and you because that really will impact the way the government sees the economy and how mortgage rates and rates in general go. Because with the numbers that are coming out right now, the most recent article was that employment numbers are now at pre-pandemic levels, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's great news to hear because I know
Yeah.
that also there's a number of clients that, we've been chatting with that have had, layoffs or reduced hours. And it's also made it, more difficult for them to qualify. So to hear that we're starting to sort of, round that corner, employment starting to stabilize, I think that was something that a lot of people weren't sure was ever going to happen or when it was going to happen. So it is great news. And, it's sort of, we're noticing a bit of a ripple
Yeah.
effect or a trickle down effect from from that employment, restabilizing and increasing.
Yeah, definitely. With that, exactly, the trickle down effect, we'll see a lot of more consumer confidence. And with that, the Bank of Canada usually turns around and says, okay, with this confidence, we need to increase the rates.
Mhm.
So this has been also reflecting in the bond yield market recently. And as you know, Sam, we love to watch the bond yield market. We are a little bit nerdy like that.
Mhm.
And we've been watching it now pretty closely because this year it's been really low. And that's why we've been able to see really low fixed rates. In case all of you who are watching why we're talking about the bond market, uh, the 5-year bond yield is a good indicator as to where the fixed rates will be for the 5-year fixed rate. And the reason is because the banks typically use the 5-year bond yield as a source for funds when they are lending out money for a 5-year fixed mortgage. And it's the spread that the bank is looking for to make on that mortgage. So when we see the 5-year bond yield rising and trending upwards,
Yeah.
usually, Sam, you and I see it all the time. We see banks sending notices saying rates are going up soon. Get your applications in.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, as like you're saying, we've been monitoring it, and it's been, bubbling around the same range for the last, number of months. We've been tracking it over the spring and summer, and it's been within a relatively tight range. And yeah, as we've been looking into it and reviewing it recently, we're seeing it's gone quite higher than it has, in the last number of months alone. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You know what? It was around the middle of September where we saw that bottoming out, and since then it's been slowly increasing, and it's gone up about 35 basis points.
Mhm.
So with an increase of 35 basis points over a period of 30 days, that's a very small amount of time. And we've seen some lenders already turn around and start putting in rate increases. So we've
Mhm.
seen some rates change a little bit, but keep in tune with Canadian Mortgage Weekly. Sam and I will make sure that we update you all as far as where rates are at and where they are headed, because at this moment they could be trending upwards. And if that's the case, we could see a rush of folks trying to get locked in at the last minute. And to avoid that, I would always suggest might as well make the call at this point and avoid the rush.
That's right. Yeah, getting a pre-approval is such an easy process. I think we talk about getting pre-approved quite often, but especially when, we're seeing the signs that we could be, right at the cusp of a rate increase. It's a great time to get your pre-approval in and get that rate hold certificate for 4 months, because if it's looking like it could be rising now, then,
Yeah.
another 4 months later, we could be seeing completely different rates. So definitely reach out to our office. Even if you had not thought of getting a home at all before, we can work with you wherever you are in the process and make sure that we get you, pre-approved and get that rate hold certificate so that, your rate is secured and protected at the lower rate.
Yeah, great stuff, Sam. Great information. Great reminder for all of you that just are on the fence right now or just wanting to get the process started. Get that rate locked in, because if rates do go up, you'll be protected. You'll be in that. You'll have today's rate when you go to make your purchase. But anyway, that's all the news that we have for today. I wanted to take a moment and introduce Sam Thompson officially. Sam is a mortgage agent with Mega Mortgage. He's been with the team now for over a year and a half. So Sam, he originally came from Ottawa, moved to Barrie, is married. No kids yet, but I know that's always a big step, but it's always fun to I don't know where I'm going with that, but anyway, Sam, it's good to always have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think our apartment's a bit small for now, but we'll see when we move along. when the next steps happen. But thanks for joining me this morning, Joe. For anyone who doesn't know, Joe Bladek is a mortgage broker with Verico Mortgage, living up in Aurelia with his wife and 2 kids. Joe, I say it every time, but you have a wealth of knowledge for mortgages. So definitely anybody who is even concerned at all about the market or where it's headed or has any questions, Joe is definitely the man with the answers. So thanks for joining me this morning, Joe, and thanks for everybody tuning in to your weekly dose of Canadian Mortgage Weekly. We will be on next week at 11:30 for episode 45. So we're gonna have an awesome topic for you then. And yeah, just thanks so much and have an amazing rest of your day.